Hi everybody. Just waiting for my friends Malati and Jayashri to come live with me. So today it's a very interesting topic. We're going to talk about view request. Go live. Jay.
Hi,
That is not.
Vijay. Good evening.
Hi. Hi.
Where is Jay now? Jayashri is missing.
She's joined, it says. It says she's
Long
joined.
time, no? Long time since we connected.
So, she's just waving. Hey, Jayashri, make a
I can't see
request.
now.
Make a request, Jayashri. It says add as moderator. If I add, would that be okay? Not okay?
Yeah, but
Jayashri?
we can't see
Go.
her.
I know. But she hasn't come live. She hasn't come. So, let me see. Jayashri, I think you have to go and come back again. I'll try to put you in there. So, today we thought we'll discuss something about our temple experiences. So let me start off as soon as Jayashri is ready to join us because
She has
she's the
sent
one
you a
who's going to be giving
request,
us.
Vijay. She has
Huh?
sent you a request. She has sent you a
I know
request.
she's not sent me a request. She's just waved out to me. And why is she not? It says add as moderator. That's all it says. Jayashri.
Add பண்ணிடுங்க. Add பண்ணிடுங்க.
Add as moderator add பண்ணிட்டேன் இங்கே போறேன் correct accept okay there you go I think I did the wrong thing and now I've done the right thing I think so she should come okay she's joined
There.
Hi.
there she is hi
Yes.
so Malti you just start off and then I'll do a little bit and then we're going to hand
So,
over the mic to our celebrity Jayashri.
so
I,
Vijay, if you remember, we have all been very enticed, I'll say, with Jayashri's food post. Normally, Jayashri got a blog number unique recipes like sheeda, more curry, and all these unique traditional items. பார்த்து பண்ணினா exactly அதே மாதிரி வரும். ஒரு
oh,
2
thank
வாரம்
you.
முன்னாடி பார்த்தாக்க Jayashri has posted about a temple visit.
Yeah.
So I was very curious as to, how come Jayashri has started blogging about temples also. So the purpose of this call mainly is to understand Jayashri ஏன் அதை ஆரம்பிச்சா அந்த மாதிரி and just to share her experience with us and maybe with the viewers as well. In case you want to add anything, Vijay.
I just want to say a little bit about my temple feelings. Now, when I was very young, I was not introduced to temples or taken because my mother was more a yogini. She used to meditate, she used to do exercises, she used to sing Carnatic music, vocal, Hindustani, sitar, she used to learn. And then she was more of a person who believed in a Guruji. It's not that light the lamp in the evening at 6 o'clock. அதெல்லாம் ஒன்றும் நம்ப மாட்டா எங்க பாட்டி தான் உட்காந்து எல்லாம் பாட்டி வீட்டுக்கு போனேன்னா பஜனை நடக்கும் அது நடக்கும் so I was not really exposed to that kind of a life and I had absolutely no knowledge of anything because when I studied in school in Hyderabad but when I came to college I mean when we came over to Chennai and we stayed with my mommy and uncle and everybody she used to do a lot of puja in the puja room and we used to just sit and recite Aigiri Nandini and then some other stotram and all that. I used to blindly do it without knowing any meaning. So when I really got married, the first visit, சின்னப்போ எங்க தாத்தா வந்து அவெல்லாம் பழனி தான் அவளுக்கு வந்து வேண்டிதான் பழனினா நன்னா தாலே சின்ன வயசுல நன்னா மொட்டை அடிச்சுட்டு சந்தனம் தடவி போட்டோ எடுத்துன்னு காமிப்பா அந்த மாதிரிதான் என்னோட போட்டோஸும் இருக்கு சின்ன வயசுல that is all I know the significance of no god nothing ஒரு ஸ்டோரி ஒன்னும் தெரியாது பாட்டி கொஞ்சம் சொன்னா அதை நான் கேட்டுப்பேன் அவ்வளவுதான் எங்க அம்மா ஒண்ணுமே இதெல்லாம் வேற மாதிரி நம்பிக்கை எங்க அம்மாக்கு நான் யாரையும் ஃபால்ட் பண்ண மாட்டேன் but that's the way she was so I never ended up learning anything so when I came to my mami's house Tirupati ava pova and Chidambaram Kovilku pova because when she went to Chidambaram it wasn't really their Kuladevam but they used to go because அங்க அந்த சிதம்பரம் நடராஜ கோவிலுக்கு போன அப்புறம் தான் இவருக்கு வந்து வரதராஜ சுவாமி கோவில் போனப்பதான் இவர் பிரசவிச்சுட்டு he was born my husband. So she started giving a lot of importance to Chidambaram, Varadaraja Swami Koval and things like that. But Tirupati was the main thing that we used to do. Every year we used to do Kalyana, Kalyana Utsavam and then Brahma Utsavam, all that we used to, they used to pay money and go. So little by little, I started knowing, taking interest. And then I said, I cannot be such a person who has no knowledge of anything, because this is our culture, this is Hinduism. I was not given importance to. So slowly I started, knowing many things. And then when I wrote the festival book, I started being closer to God, devotion. So ரொம்ப வந்து ஒரு டெக்னிக்கல் ஆஸ்பெக்ட்ஸ்ல தெரியாட்டாலும் எனக்கு அந்த டிவோஷன் வந்தது. லைக் இந்த புள்ளையாருக்கு வந்து நான் வந்து I'll take 3 hours to அந்த அந்த பவழமல்லி கோத்து போட்டு அது போட்டு ஸோ மனசுல வந்து சொல்லிட்டு ஸ்ரோத்தத்தை சொல்லிட்டு லலிதா சஹஸ்ரநாமம் அதை போட்டுட்டு கண்ணை மூடின்னு சொல்லுவேன். சி எனக்கு சான்ஸ்கிரிட் படிக்க தெரியும். ஐ டோன்ட் நோ டு ரீட் பிகாஸ் ஐ ஸ்டடிட் ஹிந்தி. ஸோ தமிழ் அவ்வளவு நல்லா தெரியாது. So Subramani Swami Puja நாங்க ஆரம்பிச்சோம். When my husband was sick, they said you have to do Subramani Swami இது படிக்கணும் நீ. So Bujangam and then Subramani Sasnama Marchana and then Upachara Slogam எல்லாம் பண்ணி. So every Tuesday I used to do it. ஒரு பிளைண்டா பண்ணுவேன், ஒரு மீனிங் ஒண்ணு தெரியாது. ஆனா I went in search of Subramani Swami எல்லாம் தமிழ்ல தான் இருக்கும். அது வந்து சான்ஸ்கிரிட்ல இருக்காது. நான் போய் தேடி பிடிச்சி கிரி ட்ரேடர்ஸ்ல I used to go and I brought it and then start, because for me அந்த அக்ஷரம் எல்லாம் பியூரா படிக்க முடிஞ்சது அந்த சான்ஸ்கிரிட்ல படிச்சோம்னா, because some of the words are missing in Tamil and then sometimes I feel we could be wrongly pronouncing it. So கொஞ்சமா வந்து I started learning a little bit, but the knowledge never broadened beyond my devotion for God. See, என்னை ஏதாவது எடுத்து சொல்ல சொன்னேன்னா ஒரு ரிச்சுவல் அது இதெல்லாம் எனக்கு அந்த ஸ்பஷ்டமா ஜெயஸ்ரீ மணி சொல்ல தெரியாது. So I would like Jayashree to take over and then give us your experiences about the temple, Jayashree. Just tell us whatever you can.
Okay. If you can start with Jayashree, how you move from food to temple, that also will be useful to our viewers.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, sure. Before I start off, Vijay, I'm not able to see you. If you want to say anything to me, just if you raise your hands, I won't be able to know. So just you talk to me.
Okay? I'll tell you. I'll interrupt you. You're not able to see me? You're not able to see me?
No, I'm not.
Are you able to see me?
Yes, I can see both of you. Yes, I can see both of you.
I can see.
Let's continue. If there's anything, not already with Jayashree that Vijay wants to ask of me.
Okay. My husband and myself, நாங்க நிறைய கோவில்களுக்கு எல்லாம் போவோம். சோ இந்த மாதிரி வர கோவிலுக்கு போக ஆரம்பிக்க எனக்கு வந்து நிறைய விஷயங்கள் தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும்னு எனக்கு ரொம்ப ஆசை ஏற்பட்டது. சோ இந்த விஷயங்கள்லாம் நிறைய கோவில்களை பத்தின இன்ஃபர்மேஷன், அதனுடைய ஹிஸ்டரி எல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கு எனக்கு ரொம்ப ஆச்சரியமா இருந்தது. இவ்வளவு விஷயங்கள் இருக்கா நம்மளுடைய இந்தியன் டெம்பிள்ஸ்ல. ஓரளவுக்கு தெரியும், பட் இருந்தாலும் இவ்வளவு டீப்பா எனக்கு தெரியவே தெரியாது. எனக்கு ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கா இருந்தது. இதை 4 பேருக்கு நான் ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கணும்னு அப்படின்னு நான் நினைச்சேன். நான் தட்ஸ் ஹவ் நான் டெம்பிள்ஸ் பத்தி நான் கொஞ்சம் இப்பதான் பேச ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கேன் இப்பதான் நானு. சோ தட்ஸ் ஹவ் திஸ் வெஞ்சர் ஸ்டார்டட்.
இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங் ஜெயஸ்ரீ, ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கா இருக்கு. மத்தலப் நாங்க எல்லாரும் இங்க வேற ஊர்ல உட்காந்து நீங்க அங்க போய் பார்த்து அது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஹேண்ட் இம்ப்ரெஷன் ஷேர் பண்றதுல ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கா இருக்கு கேட்கறது.
தேங்க்யூ சோ மச். அண்ட் சமீபத்துல இப்ப நான் திருச்சி போயிருந்தேன். நிறைய கோவில்கள் அங்க இருக்குதுங்க. அதுல வந்து விசேஷமா சில கோவில்கள்னு பார்த்தாக்க இந்த திருவானைக்காவல் கோவிலும் ரொம்ப பொண்ணு. இந்த திருவானைக்காவல் கோவில வந்து திருவானைக்காவல், திருவானைக்கோவில், ஆனைக்கா அப்படின்னு இப்படி பல விதமான பேர்ல வந்து இந்த கோவில கூப்பிடுறா. அந்த மாதிரி அவ்வளவு பேர்கள் இருக்கு இந்த கோவிலுக்கு. இந்த மாதிரி வந்து இந்த கோவில்கள்ல திருவானைக்காவல் கோவில் வந்து காவிரி நதிக்கரையில அமைஞ்சிருக்கு. இந்த காவிரி நதிக்கரையில ஹரி ஹரன் 2 பேருக்குமே நிறைய விசேஷமான கோவில் இருக்கு. ஸ்ரீரங்கம் ரங்கநாத பெருமாள் கோவில் ரொம்ப விசேஷமானது. அதே மாதிரி இந்த திருவானைக்காவல் இருக்கிற ஜம்புகேஸ்வரர் கோவில் வந்து ரொம்ப விசேஷமானது. நிறைய விஷயங்கள் இருக்கக்கூடிய கோவில். அதுல வந்து இன்னைக்கு திருவானைக்காவலை பத்தி தான் நான் சொல்றதா இருக்கேன். நானு திருவானைக்காவல் திருவனைக்காவல் கோவில்ல இருக்கிற அந்த ஈஸ்வரனுக்கு பேரு ஜம்புகேஸ்வரர், அந்த அம்மனுக்கு பேரு வந்து அகிலாண்டேஸ்வரி பேரு. இது ஒரு பக்கம் இருக்க, நம்மளுடைய பாரத தேசத்துல இந்த பஞ்சபூதங்களுக்கு நிறைய ஸ்தலங்கள் இருக்கு. பஞ்சபூதங்களுக்கும் ஸ்தலம் உண்டு. இந்த ஆகாசம்,
பஞ்சபூதம்னா என்ன, அதுவும் கொஞ்சம் சொல்லிருங்க.
ஆகாசம், நீர், அக்னி, பிருத்வி, அந்த மாதிரி வந்து ஜலம், இது 5 பஞ்சபூதங்கள். So the universe is made up of this பஞ்சபூதம். Even we are also made up of this பஞ்சபூதங்களால் தான் நம்மளும் வந்து பண்ணப்பட்டிருக்கோம். சோ இந்த பஞ்சபூதங்களோட ஸ்தலம் பார்த்தாக்க, அக்னிக்கு திருவண்ணாமலை, அப்புறம் இந்த பிருத்விக்கு ஏகாம்பரேஸ்வர் கோயில் காஞ்சிபுரம், அப்புறம் வந்து ஆகாசத்துக்கு சிதம்பரம் கோவில், அப்புறம் வாயுக்கு
I wanted to say about the Chidambaram Kovil. You said Akasam. There is one particular open space when you go through the whole thing. They take you to an open space. They make you stand in one particular place. They said, this is where the universe is. This is where, in the spot la the universe is. You know, it goes.
Some vibes and all you feel with you, or is it something unique over there? The experience, how is it?
It's when they say itself, you feel there's something very special about that place.
Goosebumps.
It is something that's within you that comes, because they tell you that, can you imagine, and the universe ingiradhu inge dhaan, in the spot la dhaan irukku. They take you in the open somewhere.
Yes.
And when they say that, you get a very intense feeling, ஒரு feeling of ஒரு என்னமோ ஒரு ஆக்சிஜன் உடம்புல, ஒரு டிவைன் ஆக்சிஜன் உடம்புல ஏறுற மாதிரி இருக்கும். It is very evident, that feeling. So that is what I wanted to say. Jayashree, you can continue.
Yes, somebody is asking question. Madam, you know Ramagiri? I don't know who it is.
See, what you know?
No, Ramagiri. Somebody is asking Ramagiri.
I'll respond. Continue, Jay.
Ramagiri.
Okay.
No, I have.
So இந்த பஞ்சபூதங்கள் ஸ்தலம் பார்த்தாக்க, இந்த
மிஹிரன், I know மிஹிரன். Yeah. Okay.
பஞ்சபூத ஸ்தலங்கள்ல அக்னிக்கு வந்து திருவண்ணாமலை, அப்புறம் ஆகாசத்துக்கு வந்து சிதம்பரம் கோவில், பிருத்திவிக்கு ஏகாம்பரேஸ்வரர் கோவில், அப்புறம் வந்து வாயுக்கு திருக்காளஹஸ்தின்னு வந்து திருப்பதி பக்கத்துல இருக்கிற காளஹஸ்தி கோவில், அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து இந்த ஜலத்துக்கு இந்த ஜம்புகேஸ்வரர் கோயில் திருவானைக்காவல். இதெல்லாம் இவ்வளவு ஃபேமஸ்.
See, 1 minute. Miran says Ramagiri, Vijay. You know any Ramagiri? Vijay, what you know?
No, I don't know. Ramagiri, எனக்கு தெரியாது. Okay, is that a kovil? Is that a kovil, Mihra?
I thought it's a name of a person. Okay, I'll respond to that. Continue, Jay.
Okay. So இது வந்து இந்த ஜம்புகேஸ்வரர் கோவில். இந்த ஜம்புகேஸ்வரர் கோவில்ல உங்களுக்கு இந்த லிங்கத்துல, நான் இப்ப ரீசெண்டா போனபோது கூட ஒரு கீழே இறக்கத்துலதான் நம்ம வந்து சிவலிங்கத்தை நம்ம தரிசனம் பண்ணணும். அந்த மாதிரி வந்து தரிசனம் பண்ணும்போது அந்த ஜலம் ஊறிண்டே இருக்கும். அந்த சிவலிங்கத்தை சுத்தி வந்து தண்ணி ஊறிண்டே இருக்கும் அங்க. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு இடம். இப்ப வந்து ஒரு லேமன் கூட திருச்சிக்கு போய் நீங்க திருவானைக்காவல் எப்படி போனோம் அப்படின்னு கேட்டாக்க, they will direct you. இந்த மாதிரி வந்து இந்த லிங்கத்துக்கு கீழே தண்ணி வந்துட்டே இருக்குமே, அந்த கோவில அப்படின்னு கேட்பாங்க. எல்லாருக்குமே தெரிஞ்ச ஒரு விஷயம் அது. சோ அந்த மாதிரி வந்து ஜம்புகேஸ்வரர் கோவில்ல இந்த லிங்கம் வந்து ஜலத்துல வந்து
somebody is asking whether we can speak as much in English, because they would like to know what exactly you're saying. If you can, Jayashree, can you just also try to see, because they're so interested in knowing the Panchabhutangal in English, the different kovils and all that. If you can, yeah.
பஞ்சபூதங்கள் அந்த டெம்பிள்ஸ் வந்து there is about 5
கோவில் தான் போட்டுருக்காமே. Okay.
Okay. Let's continue. Jayashree, if you could just mix English and Tamil, please.
Okay. I'll repeat that பஞ்சபூதங்கள் கோவில். For fire வந்து it is திருவண்ணாமலை கோவில். For the earth it is இந்த காஞ்சிபுரத்துல இருக்க ஏகாம்பரேஸ்வரர் கோவில். And then Vayu வந்து திருக்காளஹஸ்தி, that is near Tirupati. And then you have this Chidambaram for Akasham. And then for water we have this Thiruvanaikaval temple, which is near Trichy. That is it. And Thiruvanaikaval கோவில் எங்க இருக்கு அப்படின்னாக்க, திருச்சி பக்கத்துல திருச்சியில இருக்கிற சத்திரம் பஸ் ஸ்டாண்ட், தட்ஸ் a very famous place. அந்த
Very
சத்திரம்
famous
பஸ் ஸ்டாண்ட்ல இருந்து
place.
3 கிலோமீட்டர்ஸ் போனாக்க வந்து திருவானைக்காவல் கோவில் இருக்கு. இப்போ வந்து
Shraddha Mahave, as much as possible, she'll try to tell you in English. She says she needs it so much for her kids. That's why she's saying, can you please, thank you so much for trying to say it in English, she says.
Okay.
Okay, we will, Shraddha. Okay.
Okay. And then the Thiruvanaikaval, the main deity that Shivan there is called Jambukeswarar. Jambu, what is the meaning of Jambu? Or our India is also called Jambu Dvipam. It is called Jambu Dvipam. And Jambu means that jamun fruit. இல்லையா, அதுக்கு வெண் நாவல் பழம், அதுக்கு தான் வந்து ஜாமுன் ஃப்ரூட்டுக்கு தான் அது சொல்வோம். ஸோ இதுக்கு வந்து there is one story behind this. Once upon a time in Kailasa, இப்போ வந்து when Parvati and Shiva they were together, அப்போ Parvati Devi she was just playing with Shiva by closing his eyes, hide and seek, by closing his eyes. So for some time his eyes was closed. Actually Shiva has the sun on one eye, on the right eye, and the moon on his left eye. So when his eyes was closed, the whole world became very dark, and all the activities became to a standstill. So much of uncomfortableness was experienced. So Shiva got angry on Parvati, and he cursed her to go to the Bholoka, and he said, there you go and pray for me, you do puja for me, and then later you come and join me in Kailasa. So that's what he said. So Parvati Devi, she came to Bholoka, to the earth, and here on the banks of this Kaveri river, Parvati Devi, when she wanted to pray, do puja for Shiva. So there she was not able to find any one Shivalinga also she was not able to find. That whole place there, it was filled with a jamun tree. That naval maram irukudhu. So adala it was filled with a jamun tree, and lots of water was only there. With her yoga shakti, Parvati Devi, she created Shivalinga with water. So that's how the Jambukeshwarar is now in the water. So even now when you go now, you see the water keeps on oozing out there, and it's always wet there.
Imagine.
Yeah,
that is amazing. It's really amazing how these things are. You have an explanation, and then it's really that amazing fact.
Yes, when we know all this and we go to the temple, then we can enter this better. Yeah. So and then now coming to Jambukeswarar, this linga, as I told you, it is under this jamun tree. It was under the jamun tree, and there were two living beings which worshipped Shiva at that time. One is spider, and the other is the elephant. So these two, they worshipped the Shivalinga. So they have only 5 senses, and when this insect and when this animal can do this, why not man, who can speak, who can hear, who can see? Why can't he also praise Shiva and tell slokas? So this is something, which needs to be given a thought. And now what happened was, so this spider and the elephant, both it had its own way of praying to the Shivalinga. See that, as I told you, that Shivalinga was under the jamun tree, and dried leaves and twigs, it used to fall on the Shivalinga, and it used to become very dirty. The spider saw it had its own way of worshipping, and it started making a web on top of the Shivalinga, just to protect the dust from falling on Shivalinga. That was its way of worshipping. That was its way of worshipping the Shivalinga. And the elephant, every day it used to bring water in its trunk, and it used to shower this water on Shivalinga. That was the way it did Abhishekam. That's how it also worshipped the Shivalinga. So these two were doing this alternatively. So the spider spinning the web, and the water being, the Abhishekam being performed by this elephant, both was continuing. And the spider saw that the web that it was spinning, it's getting destroyed by the elephant. So it became very angry, and then it went and sat inside the trunk of this elephant, and it started poking it. So what happened? The elephant was not able to bear the pain. அது வந்து தன்னுடைய கையால சுழட்டி it started hitting for the spider to come out. But what happened when it hit, the spider died. And also, the spider, it stung that elephant, yeah. So the poison got into the elephant, and the elephant also died. So when they died, Shiva appeared before them because both were doing puja to Shiva. So he was so pleased. He appeared before them and said, the elephant will be given moksham. Moksham will be given to the elephant. It will not have any rebirth. But the spider will have a rebirth. Now the spider asked, why should I have a rebirth? Why not the elephant? Now Shiva said, see, you did a crime. You tried to kill the elephant by stinging it. So this is not correct. So you will be having another birth. And you will be born in the Chola dynasty as a king. I mean, to the king and queen there, you'll be born there. And then in your next birth, you'll build a lot of temples for me. So that's how he said, and he vanished, and both of them, they died. The spider and the elephant. So now coming to next, next birth or life of this spider, what happened was he was born the Chola dynasty. The Chola king and the queen, their name is Shubhadevan and Kamala Devi. He was born to them. Now there is one small anecdote behind his birth. Thank you, Shraddha. And then what happened was, just before he was born, the Kamalavati, she was pregnant and she was about to deliver the child. And all the nurses, the dadi, they are all there around her bed there. She's just going to deliver. After the, what should I say, the person who tells Joshyam Lan Cholra, he comes to the Raja Sabha, he comes to the astrologer, he comes, he comes to that Raja Sabha. And the Raja Sabha, he comes there and he says, if this child is born 1 minute later, he will rule all the 3 worlds and he will be a very powerful king, he says. And then Kamalavati hears this and she says, I want my son to be born 1 minute later. So she instructs them to tie her upside down, leg up and the head down. So the child is not born at the time. So that the child will not come out. After 1 minute, that they remove her and they make her lie on the bed, the child comes out. Just because the child was there, just because the child is there, what should I say, the vaai, garbhapayoda vaayila irundadanaala, his blood vessels in the eyes got affected. So that is why he was, it got affected, and so he was born with red eyes. That is called Ko Chengan Solan. Chengan means red eyes. He was named as Ko Chengan Solan. He was named like that. The world does not know the sacrifice of Kamalavati, but everybody knows what this Ko Chengan Solan, this king, he did. He built a lot of temples for Shiva, and even now his name is there in the carvings of those major temples. It is still there. So that's how he became famous. And then this Ko Chengan Solan, in his previous birth, he worshipped as a spider. He worshipped the Neer Linga, and that's how that place came to be known as Thiruvanaikaval. It came to be known like that. So this is the history of this Thiruvanaikaval temple and the spider and the elephant worshipping the Shivalinga. Now coming to this.
Now, why do people visit this temple? எங்க போனாலும் normally हिंदी சொல்லுவா मन्नत पूरी होती है वो temple जाएंगे तो. If you go to this temple, this wish will be granted. If you go to that temple, your wish will be fulfilled. இந்த கோவில் என்ன ஸ்பெஷாலிட்டி?
இந்த கோவில்ல ஈஸ்வரனும் அந்த அம்பாளும் ரெண்டுமே ரொம்ப பவர், ரொம்ப சக்தி வாய்ந்தவா. அதுவும் இந்த அம்பாள் ஆல்சோ. அந்த அம்பாளை பத்தி இப்ப நம்ம சொல்லணும்னாக்க, அந்த அம்பாளுக்கு வந்து காதுல தாடங்கம் போட்டிருப்பா. இதுக்கு என்னன்னாக்க,
what is that in English? காதுல அம்பாளுக்கு what is that?
ஸ்ரீ சக்கரம். heavy studs. And ஸ்ரீ சக்கரம், everybody will know that word ஸ்ரீ சக்கரம்னா அது தெரியும் எல்லாருக்குமே. இப்ப some years back இந்த அம்மன் வந்து ரொம்ப she was very ferocious, ரொம்ப உக்கிரமா இருந்தா பாக்குறதுக்கு. And then nobody was able to go near her. Even now in Thiruvanaikaval, see, there is one separate temple for Shiva, separate temple for this Ambal, Parvati Devi. There is Akhilandeshwari. There is one separate temple. And the temple, nobody was able to enter the temple because she was very, very, ugrama irundha paakarthukku. very angry looking, and then it was very hot inside the temple. Nobody could enter the temple only. Even doing puja also they used to do outside the temple only. They used to do, the pujaris used to do only outside the temple. They could not enter the temple at all. Appa Adi Shankara, he came there, when he was passing by that way, he found that the worshipping was being done on the threshold of the temple and not outside the temple and not inside the temple. It was not being done at all. Appa he found out that the Amman வந்து ரொம்ப உக்கிரகமா இருக்கான்னு he came to know. So then he just installed Ganesha and Lord Muruga on either side just to cool her down, because if her children are there, she might be very pleased. The Ambal will be very pleased, and so they thought it will cool her down. But even then, she was very, very angry. She was very angry, and nobody was able to go near her also. So what he decided was Adi Shankara, he made a Sri Chakram and he wanted to establish it there in front of the Ambal. But water keeps on oozing out there, so he was not able to put it there on the ground. So that's why he put it on both the Ambal's ears. It is called the Sri Chakram. So that is called Tatanga. That is a big stud. Actually, there are two studs. One is Shiva Chakram and one is the Sri Chakram. So the Sri Chakram, all the power of this Ambal is there only on the Sri Chakram. So when you go to the temple, you look at that Tatangam and then you pray. And then you give all your prarthanas, everything is fulfilled. And the alavukku it is very, very powerful. So the Tatanga Mahima, they say. So in the Madri Vadu powerful ana oru idu. And one more ritual there is the afternoon. They say that Uchikala Puja. That is by about 12 o'clock, the 3 or 4 times, that is, they do the worshipping early morning, afternoon, evening, and night. They have all the temples, they do pujas. So in the Uchikala Puja, that happens there. So in the Uchikala Puja time, in the afternoon, what happens is the priest in the Ambal temple, he dresses up like Ambal itself with the crown. Yes, with the crown. He wears a sari with flowers and all that. He takes water and then he also takes flowers. He dresses up like Ambal and he goes to the Ishwaran temple there to do the puja there. So this is something which we have to see. When we go in the afternoons, everybody will witness this. That is one thing. Another thing is, this Ambal is worshipped in the morning as Mahalakshmi, in the afternoon as Parvati, and the evening as Saraswati Devi. That's why the evening they make her dress up in a white sari. So this Ambal is very, very powerful. Knowing all the details about this Ishwaran and this Ambal, we can know all these details and then visit the temple so that we can enjoy all this, and also we can pass it on to our next generation. So like this, they will also come to understand. Cholagumalti. Yes.
இது இந்த கோவில் டிராவல் பண்ணணும் நம்ம சென்னையில இருந்து போனோமா? Do we have to travel from Chennai to this temple, or where exactly is it located?
Yeah, near Trichy, Srirangam, Trichy. That in between Srirangam and Trichy it is located. From Trichy, if you go also, it's just 3 kilometers from Chatram bus stand. It's located. From Chennai, anywhere you can go. Trichy, and from there it's always there. So such is the power of this Akhilandeshwari Amman and this Jambukeshwara. So this is something
what made you select this temple? What made you
because around
select this temple?
No, actually see Trichy, all South Indian temples I mean, it's famous for all temples South India. And then Kumbakonam, if you go there to Kumbakonam also, plenty of temples are there. I have been there so many times, but I've never completed, watching all this. And then another thing is in Trichy, in and around Trichy also there are so many temples. Samayapuram, all these are very excellent temples which is worth visiting. And we should know all this. Just going to temples, that is for a stage in life. But understanding the things behind it, the stories behind this is the next stage, It is where we know the greatness of the temples, why these temples are so popular, what is the history behind this. These are all some of the things which we need to know that gives us immense satisfaction. That's it.
I remember in Chidambaram Kovil also, they do the Spadigalingam Abhishekam with the Spadigam.
Yes.
There is a lingam with Spadigam. So they
Yes.
do it 5 times during the day, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And all those See, those Vadiyars, they own Chidambaram, it's a private thing. It's not owned by the government, though there is a dispute going on now.
Yeah.
But those Vadiyars were married very young. So I used to see these young brides, young wives, they are only wearing 9 yards.
Yes.
Chidambaram Dikshithar's wives are all wearing 9 yards. They'll all come. Quickly, they'll finish the cooking in their house. They'll come running with poo in their hand or something in their hand because they like to watch it. Either their husband is taken over that day or somebody else. Everything is within that community they do. So I see them, when I look at them, I feel so nice. Young girls who are so devoted to what happens in Chidambaram temple. And Chidambaram temple is something you have to go to see that Natarajar to realize what a beautiful temple it is. What kind of vibrations it gives you when you go inside. Especially that Vayu, idu thane, inga universe irukra edam thane and Vayu, Akasa. So it's like, all of them are, when you look at them, you are inspired to know more about the temple.
Yes.
And then also I wanted to say something else. It's like, my husband always loves to visit. Especially there is another temple of Nataraja. They don't worship much there. It's in Koneri Rajapuram.
I've heard of it.
Rajapuram, there's a Nataraja. They don't worship. There is one person who was working the bank. He's retired. He goes there. He takes care of the whole thing. You can go there. It's not but people do visit. It's kept inside. They don't do puja or anything. I just think he does some nice. But it's a beautiful Nataraja, that Koneri Rajapuram.
I've heard of it.
You see Nataraja. It's kept inside this thing, kind of a prison. I don't know now what it is because I went there many years back. So these are all remembrances I get when you tell me, because for me, knowledge is very, very limited. I don't know much at all. So whatever you're telling, I'm just imbibing and learning it myself. You can continue.
Yeah. Jayashree, one of our viewers wanted to know in the Ramagiri Kovil, எந்த ஊர்ல இருக்குன்னு கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியல. Any idea you have?
No, தெரியல. நான் இப்பதான் கேக்குறேன். இப்பதான் now only I'm hearing this name of the temple itself. So
Vijay, we will let you know and you could pass on the message.
If I know that, I'm going to pass it on. Yes, Ramagiri temple. Mihiran, he's an artist.
Mihiran wants to know எந்த ஊர்ல இருக்குன்னு கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியல மேடம், தெரியுமா உங்களுக்குன்னு கேட்டா. So if you find out, Jayashree, pass it on to Vijay and she can let you know. Just to add to what Jayashree said, in the elephant and spider, யானையும் இந்த ஸ்பைடரோட கதை such a simple thing இல்ல. நம்ம குழந்தைகளுக்கு சொல்லி கொடுக்கறதுக்கு என்னது கரெக்ட், லைஃப்ல என்னது தப்புன்னு சொல்லி கொடுத்து. So Meeran, you have your answer. Where in Andhra? Okay, maybe she will let us know. So as I was saying, even for children, for us to teach them small stories, what is good and bad. அதுக்கே இது நல்ல இன்சிடென்ட் இல்ல. யானை வந்து பாவம் ஸ்பைடர் கடிச்சது, ஆனா யானை ஒண்ணும் பண்ணல. That is why God gifted one moksha whereas the other. In fact, this concept of 3 deities, நீங்க இப்ப சொன்னீங்கன்னா இந்த கோவில்ல 3 விதமா அம்பாள பூஜை பண்றாங்க.
பூஜை நடக்கிறது.
In Bombay's Mahalakshmi temple also, we have Mahalakshmi. We have 3 deities: Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, and Mahasaraswati. Mahalakshmi symbolizes wealth and prosperity.
Yes.
Wealth and prosperity, which embodies activity, any passion that you have. Mahakali or Durga, destroyer of the evil.
All evil.
Signifying darkness, inertia. And lastly, Mahasaraswati, knowledge and learning, which reflects purity and harmony. So in life, you have all the 3 gunas, which makes this universe. Yes, Jayashree.
Why Mahalakshmi, she came and அங்க ரொம்ப ப்ராஸ்பரஸா இருக்கு மும்பைலன்னு, அதுக்கு அத பத்தி சொல்லுங்க.
There was one architect, he was trying to build this thing between his name was Ramji Shivji Prabhu. He wanted to connect 2 places in Bombay, which is Worli and Malabar Hill. But and the sea was so rough and he was never able to do. Then goddess Mahalakshmi appeared in his dream and she said, on the sea cooler, 3 idols, எந்த சரஸ்வதி இது and துர்கா இருக்கு, அதை மேல எடுத்துன்னு வந்து அதை ஸ்தாபனை பண்ண ஒரு கோவில்ல, then you will be able to build the bridge. So this architect went down, he bought all the 3 idols, he placed it in the temple, sthapna kiya teenon ka, And after that, he was able to build the bridge. In fact, the deity, the idol of Mahalakshmi, the Swayambhu solra. No human being has carved it. It has been, it is a Swayambhu. Another thing, another story around it is Mahalakshmi wanted a temple for herself, and she was visiting Kadal Kadala Pointe Irunda. Ana avalku wrong time of the month, so no city allowed her to settle down.
Okay.
But Bombay people welcomed her with open arms, and that is why Bombay still continues to be the city of Mumbai's temple.
But
It's
is
flourishing.
this true? Is this true that if you stay in Bombay, you do business, you work hard, you earn a lot of money, you
Yes.
take that because of Mahalakshmi's
Yes.
power, and if you take that out of the state, that money goes. It stays as long as you're there in Mumbai. Is that
Nobody
true?
will sleep hungry. Nobody will sleep hungry in Bombay. Yeah, ஏதோ ரோட்ல ஏதோ விற்று 5 ரூபா 10 ரூபா சம்பாதிச்சு you will survive.
You will survive.
The city,
And there are a lot
yeah,
of people
yes.
who are very well off in the slums also, in Dharavi slums also. That's what I hear.
Yes,
They stay.
that is a big story in itself. Yes,
அந்த கால
Shri.
அந்த காலத்துல வந்து இப்ப சென்னையில இருந்தோ இல்லைன்னா வந்து ஒரு இன்டீரியர் வில்லேஜஸ்ல இருந்தோ உழைக்கிறதுக்கு போனோம்னாலுக்கு they used to go to settle in Mumbai. Why? Because எல்லா இண்டஸ்ட்ரியும் அங்க ஃபிளரிஷ் ஆகுது. Any somehow you can come up in life அப்படின்னு இது ஒரு நம்பிக்கை, belief like that. And that's how film இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில இருந்து எல்லாமே இங்க ஃபிளரிஷ் ஆகுது பாம்பேல because of Mahalakshmi there.
Because of Mahalakshmi, and during important days of Navaratri, Diwali, அங்க போய் நிக்க முடியாது. அம்பாளுக்கு அவ்வளவு பூஜை, அவ்வளவு offering, absolute divine faith. No, மனுஷாளுக்கு அப்படியே faithனாக்க they stand in queues for hours together to get the darshan of the deity.
Even
So,
this Ganesh Puja, I
Yes.
think they do a very big job of it. It's huge. The immersion is like, I think in Mumbai, it's much more than in other cities, I feel.
Yes, yes, it is a big
religion
deal.
aspects we follow. There it's joys, it's festivity, it's like abundance of happiness. People are dancing and things like that. So
very true.
Correct. Absolutely.
So yes,
Absolutely.
closing comments, Vijay.
Yes. So what I was saying is this is so interesting, and I have learned so much through Jayashree. I think we should have more of these conversations for the listeners who are in and who want
And
to
for
listen
us
more to it
also,
and learn
for
more.
people like us also, who have not visited all these temples.
So this is a never-ending subject, and it's a most interesting subject also. You're never going to get bored because the stories that goes around it and the truth that comes out of prayers, whatever you pray, it does happen.
Sure.
And the story, you're able to connect to that God.
Yes.
Because the whole God looks like how the story had evolved, and what the story says, that's how that God looks like. God or
Yes.
goddess or whatever. So I feel we should continue this kind of a conversation the next week also, if possible, next Sunday, because
Sure.
I think Diwali comes only on Thursday. So there's one more visit of some koval that Jayashree has gone to. I would listen with all my heart, and so will all of them who come here. See, here she is. Shraddha
Alternatively,
says
Vijay,
yes,
I would love to hear these spider elephant kind of stories more, that I can, actually relate to real life. Whether
Even
நம்ம
children,
ஆத்துலயோ
absolutely.
work environment எங்க பார்த்தாலும் even in an office you can relate this situation, right?
Absolutely.
There are
Yeah,
workers
sure.
who exactly right, so you can draw parallels and relate it to real life.
We can tell
Absolutely.
our
And then in my days, it was that Scottish King Bruce, when he lost his war and he went and sat in a cave. He saw the spider climb so many times trying to this thing, and it comes down, goes up. So I was inspired with silly stories like that, But here you have the gods, their stories are woven around that. I think this is what is much, much more interesting. Okay, Ramakrishna village is about
95 kilometers from Chennai. Ramagiri.
So
She's
Meeran
giving
has got your answer. Meeran has got his answer where which venue is
Kala
located.
Bhairavar is worshipped more here. Okay.
Thank you, Chantini. And then
Thank you, Shanti.
we
so
can
we are
also
going to conclude this. We are going to conclude this, and we will get Jayashree back again with a bang.
yeah,
And
sure.
There are more such stories.
yes,
We can know this. We can pass it on to our next generation. They will also start having interest in our traditions and cultures and our temples too. So, of course, they are all, they are also interested, but they are all very busy. The other next generation is, so they can come to know about all this through sharing
Thank you very
such
much for
talks.
sharing, Jayashree. It was lovely hearing those
I
stories.
really have to
Looking
thank
forward
Thank
to
you.
more such sessions from you. Thanks
Thank
all
you
for
so much.
joining. Good night and have a great week ahead. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Bye,
Thank you all.
everybody.
Thank you
And
all.
await the next week when we join you all.
Thank you all.
Okay? Bye. Bye, everybody.